Number one today. Okay. You got up early or I was late? Hello, how are you? How come you get up so early? Phone was in my hand. Okay. Nice. Keep your phone in your hand only so that you can send likes after likes after likes. Hmm. So we are going to talk about Purvabhadra Nakshatra today. Okay. It is now we are at the fine, great. We are at the last portion of the nakshatras Purvabhadra, Uttarabhadra, and Revati. These are the final three nakshatras left. So, Purvabhadra is, if we go into the degrees first, okay, it starts at 20 degree of Aquarius and ends at 3 degree 20 minutes of Pisces. Okay, so Purvabhadra is spreading between two signs. It is starting at Aquarius and ending at Pisces, so it will have characteristics of both the signs. Okay, so as long as people have planets in Purvabhadra in Aquarius portion, they will have the traits of Aquarius, that is serving humanity, entrepreneurship, and all. And when Purvabhadra is in Pisces section, they will have trait and characteristics of Pisces. Okay, the sign of spirituality and all. So this is where we need to remember that where Purvabhadra is falling in a particular chart, if it is in Aquarius or if it is in Pisces, then now the name, the meaning of the name Purva means previous or former, or we can also say initial. Bhadra means good. Bhadra means good or well or like auspicious. Okay, and Pada means feet. Uh, the feet. Okay, of human body and all. So Purvabhadra Pada means initial auspicious feet. Okay, we can also say that it is about your initial beginning in the spiritual progress. Okay, initial beginning on the spiritual path is also seen from Purvabhadra. Okay, its representation is again a spiritual symbol, which is front part of the funeral pyre. Okay, funeral pyre is there. Front part of the funeral pyre is seen as the representation of Purvabhadra as a nakshatra. Its another representation is a double faced person. Okay, so when we are looking at spiritual representations of this nakshatra, the representation of funeral pyre is more useful. Okay, and when we are looking at materialistic representations of this nakshatra, this representation of double faced person is more useful. Okay, so it also depends on what you want to interpret. You can interpret either ways. Okay, you can make a materialistic interpretation also, you can make a spiritual interpretation also. So when you are making materialistic interpretation, the representation of double faced person is more helpful. when you are looking at spiritual interpretation, then funeral court or front part of the funeral pyre is more useful. Okay, so this is also we need to remember. Then its main deity is Aj Ekpada, uh, which means that one-footed goat. Okay, a deity named Aj Ekpada. Aj means goat. Ek means one, and Pada means feet. A goat which has 1 feet. Okay, that is also that is a representation of that is deity of this nakshatra. Okay, deity of Purvabhadra is Aj Ekpada. Nakshatra lord is Jupiter. When it is falling into Aquarius sign lords are Saturn and Rahu. When it is falling into Pisces sign, then sign lord is then sign lord will be this Jupiter. Okay, so Jupiter is common when this Purvabhadra Pada is falling into Pisces sign, because it rules the nakshatra, it rules the Pisces also, the sign. So if someone has Purvabhadra Pada in Pisces, then it is more powerful than Purvabhadra in Aquarius, because in Pisces sign Jupiter is ruling both of them. Okay. Mythological story, there is no actual mythological story related with that which I came across. If you know about it, then please share. I will be more than happy to listen to that story. But as this nakshatra represents initial interest in your spiritual progress, okay, when person gets initially involved into spirituality and all, any story which can relate with someone's spiritual evolution, which relates with someone's spiritual interest growing, that story can be part of this nakshatra. We can relate with a story of Buddha and Mahavir, where they got fed up with their wealth and luxury, and they started finding where is the real happiness, where is the spiritual happiness. That story we can link with this nakshatra. We can link with anyone who has just initially got interested in spiritual, making some spiritual progress or evolution. That story can be related with this nakshatra. Okay. Now if we look at the interpretations, okay, what are the main interpretations of this nakshatra, is that first of all, this nakshatra and the remaining two also, they are all about spiritual progress. You can best utilize these 4 nakshatra. Actually, from Dhanishta to Revati, we can get the best of results from these 5 nakshatra only when we are spiritually inclined, we are on a spiritual path. Okay, that's where the best results of these 5 nakshatras can come up. Then as it represents Purvabhadra means initial auspicious feat, or as I said, it represents our initial interest in spiritual evolution. It shows when person gets initial involvement in spirituality. Okay, understand the difference here between spirituality and religion. Spirituality is beyond religion. When you there are many people who think that okay, going to temple is spirituality, performing some worship or yajna havan is spirituality. That can be part of a spirituality as at their level. But as I see, when you are tired of all these things, okay, tired of all your religious pursuits, and then you go beyond religion, that's where the spirituality begins. When you end with religion, then you are spiritual. Okay, I can tell my experience. Okay, so when I started this Jupiter Mahadasha, okay, when I was in Jupiter Dasha. That was somewhere around 2011 to 13. Okay, I was super religious person. Okay, I used to go to temples every day. People may not believe, but I used to go for 4 5 times in a day to temples. Okay, any temple. I will just go there. My weekends will be totally about going to temple, performing some worship and all. So this was my Jupiter Dasha. Okay, and it continued in Jupiter Saturn Dasha also. Okay, so about 4 years I was thoroughly religious. I was thoroughly means into rituals, that everything should be perfect, and if you are doing puja, everything should be at a right place and all. I was that kind of person. Then uh, somewhere in 2015 it happened that once I was going towards temple, okay, for my usual worship and all, and at that time only, while going, the first time the question arose in my mind, why I am going, what is the need to go to the temple. First time in those 5 years, for the first time this question arose in my mind, that why I need to go to the temple, why I am going like this, why I am doing all these things. And I on that particular day I thought, okay, fine, it may be the momentary thought and all, and it will pass away. But as days progressed by, I started feeling that I am almost dragging myself to the temple. I don't want to go to the temple. I am just doing it for the sake of doing now. Okay, there is no desire to go to the temple. So, what I feel is that at that moment my spiritual evolution started. I got interested in spirituality after that. My religious pursuits were over. Again, I am not saying that religious pursuits are not important. Here we need to understand one thing. Everything is important. I could not go into the spiritual realm if I have not crossed this religious path first. Okay, so crossing this path was equally important, and then go into the spirituality. Okay, so this is where the importance is, that when the question first started coming into my mind, that why I am going to temple, why I need to do all these things, then suddenly I felt the disconnection, that I need not to do all these things which I am doing from last 4 5 years. I need not to do all these puja. I need not to perform all these religious pursuits. Okay, so this was the initially I got interested in a spiritual thing. Then I started doing meditation. Then at the same moment, it may sound funny also. At the same moment, within that month only, I started reading Osho, and I could understand Osho. I am sure that if I haven't gone through the process of 4 years of following the religious pursuit, I won't have understood Osho. Okay, I could understand because I had gone through that process. So that process has its own importance. Okay, religion has its own importance. Once you cross the religion, then spirituality has its own importance. So that is the time when you are into the shift from religion to spirituality. That is the time where this Purvabhadra Nakshatra we can understand. Okay, if you want to know when actually this nakshatra takes place in our life, is when you get tired of your spiritual pursuits and you initiate in a spiritual when you get tired of your religious pursuits and you find initiation in your spiritual pursuits. Initiation, the initial process, the initial interest. Okay, what is meditation, what is all these things, and how to do meditation, what are the different ways, who are different spiritual gurus. When these curiosity starts in your mind, at that time you can say, okay, you are in the process of Purvabhadra Nakshatra. Okay, So this is the most important thing to understand. This Purvabhadra Nakshatra shows your initial interest in spirituality. Now the biggest trouble is that I get interested in spirituality. I may start doing meditation and all, and I may have some experiences. Okay, one common experience whoever does meditation regularly is that sooner or later he may start seeing some light at forehead. Okay, where we have Agya Chakra. Okay, so this is again a very initial spiritual experience. This is not something that you have got liberation or you have got enlightened. Nothing like that. The problem with this nakshatra comes when the person gets the initial spiritual experience, but he feels that okay, I have got the final thing. This is the confusion, or this is the problem comes up with this nakshatra, that one initial experience and you may feel okay, I have got everything in spiritual field, I am a very highly spiritual person. Okay, so this is also one thing we should remember, that this nakshatra only represents your initial spiritual experiences. It is just a like information from the universe that you have started on the path of spirituality. Okay, those initial experiences are just an information from the universe that fine, okay, you have got admitted in the school, okay, but you haven't passed the school as yet. Okay, so this is one thing we need to always understand with this nakshatra. Another thing is that one big obstacle which can come is your own ego. Okay, what I mean to say is that when you start having these initial experiences, okay, and you may start feeling that okay, fine, you are something very high, that's why you are having these experiences. If you have started seeing this light on forehead, or your kundalini got activated, your other spiritual out of body experience, okay, even if that happens, you cannot take it on your ego that I am very great. Okay, this is where the biggest obstacle comes into the spiritual progress of a person. Once we start taking that okay, I am so great that I am having these experience. Okay, understand the whole purpose of spiritual progress is to let go of that ego, and you have taken it on your ego only, that okay, I am such a great person. Okay, nothing like that. Okay, always understand that in universe, as per the population of the world, there is an exact ratio of all types of people going on in this universe. What I mean to say is that like in 1950s also, or even in 1920s also, if you have 1% of the population committing crime, if you have 1% of the population becoming enlightened, if you have 1% population who is into business, the same ratio is still there. Same number of people are still committing crimes, same number of people are still becoming enlightened. So what I mean to say is that you are not a great person just because you started having some initial spiritual experience. It is not that if I have some experiences in my life, then I became a very highly enlightened or great person. Nothing like that. Okay, there are many people who are having same experiences. There are many people who are having even higher experiences at their will also. Okay, so there are many people whom I know personally. They say that they can have out of body experience at their will. They can leave their body. Okay, so it is not that I am very great or they are very great. The thought of gratefulness, thought of this being great should itself not come into the mind, because that is the whole purpose of these two nakshatras, Purva Bhadra and Uttar Bhadra, and coming one Revati also, that you should let go of your ego. Your ego can be the biggest trouble in your spiritual evolution. Okay, so this is important, that this nakshatra although can give some initial glimpses, initial experiences of your spiritual evolution, like activating of chakra, kundalini activation, or seeing some light and all, but those are just initial experiences. One should not one should not take it on his ego, and one should not feel that okay, he is very highly spiritual person, and he is like a guru or something. Okay, he should continue on his path. That's what I mean to say, that he should continue on his path and try to have later final spiritual experiences also, which are part of Uttar Bhadra nakshatra. Okay, so this is the most important thing in this nakshatra, that it can give some initial experiences, but people can think that okay, they are having very highly spiritual experiences and all. This never ends. Then this representation of front part of the funeral pyre. Okay, this representation of funeral pyre or front part of the funeral pyre also shows that person is leaving the materialistic side of life. Okay, he is ready to let go of his materialistic or egoistic side of life. Again, the misunderstanding can be like you have to renounce something. No, you have not to renounce, and you don't need to renounce anything externally. You have to renounce it internally. Okay, again I say that means it is not a wrong thing for a person to get some financial benefits, even if he is on a spiritual path. Okay, even if someone is on a spiritual path and getting some financial benefits, wealth, money and all, it is not it is not wrong. But what is wrong is his attachment. If he is attached with that money, then it is wrong. But if he is keeping himself free from any attachment from that money also, that money can come today and that money can go today. Neither coming is making him happy, neither going away of that money is making him sad. If he can practice that that level of detachment from anything, then this is the importance in this nakshatra, that we have to let go of that attachment. It is not about letting go of something or someone externally. It is about letting go of that attachment feeling internally. Okay, so this is also an important thing which can be misunderstood. That's why I explained that it can be misunderstood that this nakshatra is telling to us to renounce anything externally. No, it is not. It is just saying that we should get detached internally. Okay. Now other representations of this nakshatra which may be more helpful in materialistic life. The double-faced person. Okay, double-faced person of the representation of this nakshatra shows person can have double sources of income, two sources of income. If a person has money related planets in this nakshatra. It also shows if a person has a relationship oriented planet, that there can be a split in relationship, there can be separation and all, just like Vishakha, which is represented by forked branches. Also it represents a kind of cheating or deceit, because double faced person, a person who has managed to show us some other life in front of world and some other life in at his home. Okay, so there can be if a relationship oriented person planet is there, or family life planet is there, it shows someone who can be deceitful, who can be deceptive. Okay, even if that person is in a spiritual field, okay, there can be a good chance that okay, that person can be a fraud, can be a con man. Okay, that is where we need to be careful in this nakshatra. Okay, although this can bring wealth from multiple sources, but it can also bring some difficulties in relationship matters due to like deceit, fraud, or the person may have a very fraudulent way of dealing with people. It can also show someone who is a magician. Okay, it can also show someone who is a very good actor. Okay, the same thing, double faced person, the person is presenting himself in a very different way. Okay, that is the basic meaning of double faced person. So it can also be like a actor, or artist, or magician. Okay, so these traits are these results can be possible with this nakshatra. Okay, so now the basic differences between Aquarius and Pisces. If Venus is in Aquarius, okay, if Venus is in Aquarius, sorry, if this nakshatra is, if someone has planet in Purvabhadra in Aquarius, okay, then it will show that someone is getting some initial spiritual experiences and he is utilizing it to serve humanity or entrepreneurship. Then he is making an entrepreneurship out of it, and then he is serving people. Okay, uh, even at that level. Okay, if let's say if I have initial some experiences in meditating, then at least I can guide people in that level of meditation. If not further, at least I can be a guide up to that level of meditation which I have experienced. Okay, so in this Aquarius sign, they are very much interested in sharing that knowledge, sharing that experiences with other people and serving others. In Pisces sign, they can be more about their own spiritual growth. Okay, they can be more focused of their spiritual growth and moving further ahead, rather than getting interested in serving others at that time period. Okay, uh, it as Jupiter is important in this nakshatra, the usual representations of Jupiter will be there, like the guiding, counseling, knowledge sharing kind of the teacher, guru type of representation will be there, and these people can be interested in this type of professions. Okay, so basically this is nakshatra of your initial spiritual experiences, but it can have its own difficulties, which I suggested. It can give some illusion that okay, these are the experiences I had, I am a great person and all that. So the important thing is to keep your ego aside if you want to move ahead in spiritual path. It also shows someone who can be a good guide, counselor. In materialistic field, it can show someone who is having multiple sources of income, but that double-faced representation can make someone very deceptive. Even in a spiritual field, people can have lots of issues while while choosing their guru or religious teacher and all, because the other person, the guru, can have two-faced. Okay, so this is what I feel about this nakshatra. Let's see if there are questions. Thank you. Hello, Sheetal madam, how are you? Hi. This is Miguel. What is your view on Venus in Purvabhadra in 8th house? Okay. Again, Venus is a relationship oriented planet. Purvabhadra is represented by a double faced person. It shows a split in relationship. It shows person can have multiple relationship. It is also in the 8th house of instability. So person can have lots of instability in relationship. There can be possibility of deceit also with this double faced representation. Okay. At the same time, Venus is also nakshatra of your finances. Person can have multiple sources of income. I have Venus in this nakshatra Pada 3, 8th house of Cancer. Yeah, I just explained it. I would like to know, since it rules my 4th and 11th house, right? So, being a 4th lord, it also shows difficulty or instability in home environment and all. At the same time, 11th lord in 8th house shows money is coming from providing services to the people and business benefits. Bless you. God bless you too. Okay. I have a Purvabhadra moon 8th house Aquarius and Taurus Navamsha, having house exchange with Saturn in ascendant Cancer and Jupiter in Revati. Spirituality is never ending quest. I always feel sense of going to the depth. Okay. Feel sense of going to the depth. Yes, double faced in a way. However, anxiety or turmoil going inside, people can see me calm and smiling outside. Yes. So you have Purvabhadra moon. It is mind. Moon is mind. It can also be like as moon represents mother. In certain cases, I am not saying about you, but in some cases it can bring a case where like a person has like two mothers, one who gives birth, one who takes care of the person. Okay. uh, like uh, best example is me only. I always stayed with my grandparents. Okay, that is a representation, because I have Ketu in Purvabhadra in 4th house. So with mother there was kind of double things. My mother gave me birth, but my mother's mother took care of me. Okay, so this can also be the case. Same. Okay, same process of mine in going spirituality like you. When my Ketu Dasha start in first 2-3 years of Ketu Dasha, firstly I gone through religion, then spirituality, and became a Osho follower. But I think I am not go deeper level of spirituality. I am able to see ocean of spirituality, but I not jump in ocean. Materialistic life is attracting me, so I am carrying a spiritual path and materialistic life also. Again, as I said, that we need not to leave anything, we need not to let go or renounce anything. We just need to let go of the attachment feeling. Okay, if you are not attached with your materialistic life. As I always say, earn as much as you want, okay, work as hard as possible and earn as much as you want. But if someone takes away that money tomorrow, don't cry over it. That is the main thing. If you are not having the attachment to your materialistic pursuits, then it is fine. Then it is as good as living a spiritual life, even while living a materialistic life. Like the best example is again Osho, that the kind of materialistic life he lived was great. Means he himself said that even the richest person in USA don't have that much of don't have those conveniences which I have, okay. But the underlying thing was that he was not attached with that. One fine day he was put into jail and he was equally happy in that prison. Okay. So the main thing is about your attachment to the thing. Okay. If you are not attached to your materialistic pursuits, then fine. You are going into that direction only. But if you are attached to your spiritual pursuits also, then also it is not fine. Like I said, that someone is on a spiritual path and he is feeling that okay, I am very great, that I am having this and these spiritual experiences, then also it is not he is not really on a spiritual path, because he is satisfying his ego. His ego is attached with his spirituality. So that is the main thing. I have my ascendant and Mercury in this nakshatra, but it is sitting with Sun. So Bhishak, Venus and Jupiter aspected by Mars. Ascendant and Mercury. Okay, so you have lots of planets there. Sun, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter in first house. Aquarius, right? So first of all, it is creating a good Saraswati yoga for you. Okay, you can be a very good teacher. So Venus, Jupiter, Mercury together in first house. You can be a very good teacher. You can make career out of it. Your life path can be all about it. Now you have Mercury in this nakshatra. That is, Mercury is business communication. Now take the significance of Mercury, business communication, and link it with Purvabhadra. Purvabhadra is about your initial spiritual experiences. That means you can communicate with, that means you can counsel and teach people about your initial spiritual experiences, or you can have multiple businesses. You can have like I was saying that it is about your Saraswati yoga, about your knowledge sharing and all. So this can be a good position for you to make a career from that multiple businesses in counseling and guiding people. Okay, so again it depends upon you how you utilize it, but it is a very good combination for being a teacher, being a counselor, guide. Okay, Mercury and Rahu in Purvabhadra in third house, Aquarius. How could be the relationship with the spouse and younger sibling? Seventh lord, third house, Aquarius. As I said, in relationship matters, it can be a difficult nakshatra. Anyways, any planetary placement is little difficult for relationship matters. As I always say that I haven't seen a good chart for relationship as of now. So this position will have its own difficulties. First of all, Rahu Mercury are together. It can give immense desires or immense expectations from relationship, first of all. Then Mercury is in Purvabhadra nakshatra. Okay, so again in relationship matters, the other significance of this nakshatra will take place, where Purvabhadra is represented by double faced person. So there can be kind of cheating, illusion, fraud, deception in relationship. There can be, as Mercury is with Rahu itself represents deception. That is also an indication. Then this a person can have a split separation in relationship when double faced person, as I said, just like Vishakha nakshatra. Okay. At the same time, if now understand, relationship also depends on the upon your evolution level, your partner's evolution level. So if both the partners are equally interested in a spiritual path, then this combination can help you in going towards spirituality along with your partner. Okay. But it is very rare to see. I agree, being brought up in a joint family, my kaki is just a mom. Right. So this was I was saying. Ketu in 12th house, Purvabhadra nakshatra. Ketu in 12th house in Purvabhadra. Good placement for your spiritual growth. Okay. Howsoever you utilize it, it can be a very good position for meditation, following spiritual pursuits and all. But at the same time, person can have a split spiritual opinion. Split spiritual opinion means if we both have a discussion on spirituality and I present something in front of you as my opinion, you will always disagree with it. Okay. So because Ketu represents separation, so wherever it is placed, it brings separation in that house. So when it is in 12th house of spirituality, Purvabhadra nakshatra of spirituality, person can have split spiritual opinion. Namaste Sharmili. I am in teaching field, online teaching. Everything is online, madam, these days. Where is offline? But it is good that you are in teaching. Then I have Venus Mercury in Purvabhadra in 12th house. I am Pisces ascendant, Leo moon sign. Okay. Venus Mercury together can make you very skillful. The person can be very creative, and this creative interest can be in a spiritual field, can be in financial field also. You can be very good with financial dealings. Okay. At the same time, you may find interest in spiritual discussions and all. Purvabhadra as a nakshatra, and you may like to collect information about spirituality and all. How much you will be following a spiritual field depends upon dasha, because understand, Venus and Mercury, they are gentle planet. They are not the planets which can make you obsessed towards something. Okay. If Rahu had been there, I would have said, okay, person will be always be inclined towards spirituality or spiritual ways of life. But with Venus, it can bring you interest. And if you are also going through Venus dasha or Mercury dasha or Jupiter dasha or Saturn Rahu dasha, then that interest can be at the level of passion, and you may be pursuing it. But if Venus is not active, then it can only be remaining the interest. Okay, just be inclined towards that. Good afternoon. How is Aquarius Lagna in Purvabhadra 28 degree? Aquarius are people who like to serve humanity, being in entrepreneurship, and Purvabhadra, as I discussed, it is mainly a nakshatra of your initial spiritual experiences. So when it is falling into Aquarius sign, it shows that person's life pattern. Your ascendant nakshatra shows your life pattern. Okay, that is the first important thing to understand. Now understand what do I mean by life pattern. uh, Ascendant shows your life path, what life path you are supposed to follow. Ascendant nakshatra shows what will be your life pattern. Your life path can go through many changes, but your life pattern is the activity underneath your life path which will remain constant. Like this is my fourth profession, so my life path changed many times. Okay, I went through many changes in my life path, in my career path, but underneath it I was doing only one activity, that is counseling. That is my ascendant nakshatra Vishakha. Vishakha is the nakshatra of counselors. So I was always working or being interested in being a counselor. Okay, now Purvabhadra being your ascendant nakshatra shows that you may be following any life path, you may be in any career path also, but underneath it you will be always inclined towards following spiritual things. Okay, being interested in spiritual evolution and how meditation works and what happens in meditation, what do they mean that they get enlightened, what happens at enlightenment. You will be interested in all these things underneath it. How is Sun and Ketu in Purvabhadra and Mars in Sadbhishak for Virgo ascendant, three planets in the sixth house? So first of all, it can bring difficulty in relationship because all are malefic planets, and sixth house is the house of disputes, conflicts. So there can be lots of difficulty in long-term relationship. At the same time, Sun Ketu in Purvabhadra, again it is a very good position for someone's spiritual growth. But if that person is not utilizing it in spiritual growth, but then it can bring lots of conflicts with the authority figures or at his workplace also. So that is a difficult thing with Sun Ketu Mars in sixth house, because sixth house is your daily work life, people you daily interact in your workplace, your colleagues, your competitors. So this person can have lots of difficulty in dealing with that, and this position can be utilized in spiritual pursuits only. Inclined towards spirituality currently under Rahu Mahadasha. Great. Venus Mars in Purvabhadra 12th house. Ascendant is Pisces. Moon in Libra. Venus Mars in Purvabhadra in 12th house. Okay, so it now Mars is there. Mars can bring actions. Okay, so this person can be interested in taking actions also in Purvabhadra field, means in spiritual pursuits, spiritual activities. This person can be involved. At the same time, like the Mars is in enemy sign, so this realization will come with delay in life, somewhere around 30-31, when Mars gets matured. At that time the person will get involved. Then Mars in Purvabhadra. Venus is that is what Venus will make the person interested in spiritual pursuits, and Mars will bring and the action part, the ability to take action into it. Venus, if we take Venus alone, then person can have this multiple sources of income, can have multiple relationships also. Okay. In relationship matter, this combination of Mars Venus can mean that person is very dominating kind of in relationship matters. My ascendant nakshatra is Uttar Bhadrapada. We will discuss it next week. Okay, Uttar Bhadra is the next nakshatra. So it is basically later spiritual experiences or final spiritual experiences. So the difference between Purvabhadra and Uttarbhadra is that Purvabhadra is your like your initial experiences, like I said, getting into meditation, seeing some light and all, and Uttarbhadra is like having out of body experiences, chakra activation or kundalini activation, or the final thing, the enlightenment. Okay, this is all. This is also an important thing. Here, one thing which is more also important is like uh, the concept of liberation came from Eastern mythology only. Okay, understand? Uh, the there were options of heaven and hell before that, but only Eastern mythology came up with the option of liberation, that you don't even need to go to heaven, you don't even need to go to hell. There can be a third thing called liberation. So this nakshatra is more about someone who is more interested in liberation rather than in heaven and hell. Okay, so this person goes towards that third direction. Okay, so this is what I feel about this nakshatra. Let me know if there is any further question. Okay, about different planets, like we need to take the significance of planets and then we need to add into the nakshatra. Like sun in Purvabhadra can bring multiple carriers. Okay, he can have difficulty with father, especially in Aquarius sign. He can have career in spiritual fields also. We have discussed many other planets, moon, Mars, Mercury, Venus, so those things will be there. Jupiter in Purvabhadra is obviously the guide, counselor kind of person, the teacher, guru. Saturn in Purvabhadra will be someone who develops these spiritual tendency with later in life. Okay, someone who has spiritual inclination coming to him with later in life with delay, hard work and perseverance. That is Saturn. He will realize his spirituality with certain delay. Then if someone has Rahu, then he can be totally obsessed from the beginning of life throughout. And someone who has Ketu, that means he has already experienced that level of spirituality in his previous life. Okay, so in this life he is I would interpret is like a person has already achieved that level of spirituality. Okay, initial experiences. So in this life he is ready for the final experiences. So this is how it can be interpreted. It can be interpreted in other ways also. So this is the thing. Remedy for debilitated Jupiter in 11th house. Please read my views about remedies. For me, there is only one remedy, that is meditation. Meditate regularly, you will be fine. No issues. Okay. So I think we are done. It was good session, 1 hour. Okay. Let's meet next week with Uttarbhadra and then Revati Nakshatra. Okay. Take care. Have a nice Sunday. Enjoy. Thank you.